Alright guys, so in today's video, we're going to go over how to fix two common issues with bathroom faucets. The first being the constant drip from the spout, and the second being a leak from underneath the handle. Now the nice part is, they're both pretty much the same fix. Alright, so before we get into disassembling this, you may want to give Delta a call, because a lot of times they will tell you what the model number of the faucet is, and they'll tell you what cartridge it needs, and then they will replace the cartridge as well. Now, before we start tearing everything apart, let's go ahead and shut our water off. Now, these older valves here, you can definitely turn these. You're going to turn them to the right. It'll shut the water off to each one. Now, if you know which one it is, you can definitely just shut that off, that side off, but I prefer to just shut it all off. Now, the other thing to think about is if you start turning this and it's rusted out real bad and it's not turning very easily, you don't want to damage the valve or you'll have to replace it. So you could go shut the water off at the main, but the last thing you want to do is make the project more involved than it is and have to end up replacing one of these valves because it won't shut off. But once we get these shut off like that, go ahead and check and verify everything's shut down. And there you go. Now you see the water is off. Now with the water off, we can go ahead and start removing our handle here. So there's just a set screw under here. Now for me, the size is 3/32. It may vary a little bit by the model of faucet you have, but they're all going to be about the same. You just turn that in there. It may be kind of tough. You have to. So another thing here is that a lot of times if you do have a leak down here, you've got a lot of lime buildup, there's very good likelihood you're going to have a lot of lime buildup in here, especially if it's an older faucet and it hasn't been removed in a while. So what you can do is just take a Q-tip with some CLR or vinegar or something, stick it in there, and just kind of let it break down that buildup back in there. But the last thing you want to do is strip out this screw here. If you do, you're going to have to drill it out and then just completely replace the handle. So we'll go ahead and remove the handle here. And you should be able to lift it straight up. Now again, if you get a lot of buildup in here, it may be difficult to get off, so you might have to rock it back and forth and work it off. But it should come off. Then we can just take a wrench here, put that on the lock nut, and just turn that off. Now the other thing I like to do before I pull this out, just take a picture, right? So you know exactly how this is set up before you put the new one in. Then you can put the new one in exactly the same way. Now depending on how much corrosion you have here, is going to kind of depend on how difficult this thing is to pull out. If you can't just pull it out with your hands, just take your wrench here, put it on the top here, and then just pull it straight out. And it should come out pretty easily. Again, depending on the amount of corrosion you have. If it doesn't, you may have to wiggle it out a little bit. Now the other thing you can do is, again, take some CLR or vinegar, just clean it up. Clean some of that junk up, get it off there. Then next time, if it happens again, you won't have this issue. Next, we're going to go ahead and replace our seat and spring down here. And that, again, you can just take a screwdriver, flip it to the side like that, and we'll just pull the old ones out. Now, these don't look too bad, but because I am changing out the cartridge, I'm just going to go ahead and change these out as well. Again, there might be a small nick in there that you don't see, so it's always a good idea to change them out. And again, it's only a couple bucks. Take the new ones here. And again, the wide end is going to go at the bottom. Slide them on there like that. And then I like to hold it here and stick that down inside that hole there. And then just let them go. Then just take your finger, push those down like that so they're tight. There you go. All right, so now we're going to install the new cartridge. Now, this is where it's kind of important to remember the positioning of the old cartridge when you pulled it out, and where if your handles are open or closed. So mine were open. So again, there's a couple of spots here that'll fit down nicely right into this, and you can push those down. The other thing is you want this, assuming your handle is open, you're going to want the flat part pointing towards you. So if you did it like I did, where you left them open so they're easier to take off, you just want to make sure that flat part is towards you. And this area here is always usually to the outside. But again, take a picture or something when you pull the old ones out so you know what the position is. As you see, that goes down pretty easy. Then slide our lock nut on, tighten that down. Now I am going to put a couple turns on this, but I don't want this, I don't want to strip it. I don't want it super tight. So once you get a little resistance, probably there. That should be good. That'll hold it tight. Then we can just put our handle back on. And then put our set screw back in. And again, if you didn't take this all the way out, you can just tighten it down. And just tighten it down. Now we can just go ahead and turn the water back on. Again, turn it to the left. Now we can turn that on, and you see there's no more leak right here. So we're not seeing a leak at all coming out of the handle. Problem solved. And as you can see, the faucet's no longer dripping either. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Now make sure you check out my channel for more great DIY videos.